And again, maybe they're not healthy. Maybe their brain's not balanced. And so it's not you. It is them. But again, that may be a reason why you want to bring them in and let us help them get their cingulate gyrus back in order. Because when you do, here's what happens. When we remove nerve stress, when we minimize toxins, when we change the channel, don't say it's either my way or the highway. Oh, that won't work very well. Give them 3 options. Would you like to go to Taco Bell, Qdoba's, or McDonald's? Give them kind of the option. You weight it on your side, but you gotta like to go, or distract them. Choices. I know I'm going to go to the store. You don't want to go with me, do you? I know you don't want to clean your room. I know. I do that with little kids lots of times. They don't want to smile at me. I'm like, oh, whatever you do, don't you smile. Whatever you do, don't you laugh. And all of a sudden they start giggling and laughing. So I'm shifting their gears for them by using verbal commands. But again, exercise, increasing your serotonin levels. And sometimes we'll, if this is you, eat a sweet potato for Pete's sakes. It'll change your whole mood. How do I know? Because I'm like this. And if I don't get my sweet potatoes every night, I'm not a happy camper. My cingulate gyrus doesn't want to shift into gears. And I get stuck on something, whether it's a talk, whether it's an issue at the office, whether it's one of you not healing like I want you to. I get stuck on it and I don't let it go. And I get after it. So I need to shift gears myself. In the core plan, these people need a little bit more carbohydrates, healthy carbohydrates though. So through vegetables, sweet potatoes, things like that. Helps nurture their brain and gives them that little comfort food, but not at the expense of their health. Okay? And again, your limbic system. You ever heard of your limbic system?
Yeah.
That little adjusting tool that you guys call the clicker is famous and was founded based on the limbic system. It's a light click with a torque, but it stimulates your limbic system to help your body unwind the nerve system. Think of a guitar string. If it gets too tight, how does it play? Not very well, right? So your limbic system is what is the system that makes that string or that nerve too tight or too loose, and it affects your emotions. You get all uptight, right? And so it's your emotional brain, your mood, your good, your bad news, good mood or bad mood. It allows you, if it's good, it allows you to bond and connect with others. Your sense of smell is connected to your limbic system. Your way you process pain is connected to the limbic system, and so is your libido. I don't have it in my notes, but I just want to say this. One of the signs or tests for brain dementia or Alzheimer's or brain disease is that you start losing your sense of smell of things like strawberries or lemon, okay, or pineapple, okay. They say natural gas too, but if you smell natural gas, you can get blown up, so you're dead anyway, right? And so that I've lost my sense. I see people in their 30s or 40s. I've lost my sense of smell. Well, there's your sign. There's your sign your brain's not happy. Because what controls your smell? Your brain. What controls your pine? If you can't smell strawberries, hey, that's something wrong there, right? And so I wanted to make sure I talk about that. So what hurts it? Well, when your limbic system is hurt, you become sad, you become depressed, you have negative thoughts, hopeless, you feel hopeless, or you feel helpless. You carry guilt around. You isolate yourselves. You're not interested in life anymore. That's your limbic system. And I'm going to show you how to fix that too, because you have to remove nerve stress. Minimize toxins. Again, this is not even my notes yet. But as I'm reading these leading scientists, right, they're saying this is what you need to do to heal this. I'm like, we've been doing it every day. We just didn't know what it was called, but it's been working, That's why everybody gets off the depression medication, or at least cuts down. That's why people are happy when I walk in here. You guys walk in here your first visit and go, this place is weird. Everybody's happy. They're standing on these vibration platforms. They're singing. It's weird. There's nothing else like that in the world. Yeah, I know. It's because we're balancing your brain, right? And again, good facts. Take every thought captive. You don't hear, okay, Dr. Arbe, note to self. You don't have to believe every thought you have. Not every thought you have is real. Not every thought you think is true. Like I tell certain people in my family, just because you think it doesn't mean you have to say it. I know it may be true, but there's these things called filters, and just because you think it doesn't mean it's true. Just because you think it doesn't mean you have to say it. Just because you think it doesn't mean you have to believe it. Okay? So we encourage you to write that truth out or sabotage, because you do have a sabotaging voice. And And that's a whole nother workshop on how to analyze and realize what voice is talking to you. Is it the sabotaging voice? Is it the scared voice? I mean, because you have different voices. They all sound like you, though. But when you follow them out, where is that going to take you? Is it going to take you into a big old giant plate of chocolate chip cookies? Is it going to take you into 3 tubs of ice cream? Is it going to take you into buying things on credit that you shouldn't be buying? Is it going to take you into a relationship you have no business being in? Is it going to take you into buying another animal that you shouldn't have in the house? You know what I'm saying? Or another car. Okay? So we got to make sure where that voice is taking us. And if you do buy something and you don't deserve it, just tell your wife, honey, my limbic system is just stressed today. I just needed it to help heal it. So here's the thing I want you to learn. See, I know all of you, so I know how to tip those zingers in there once in a while, just to make sure you're listening. Here's something I want you to learn. If you don't learn anything today, I just want you to stop. Slow down a little bit. I know me and all people saying that, right? Slow down. But ask yourself, is this decision going to help my brain or hurt my brain? Not what you feel like, because eventually if you start taking every thought captive and looking at every decision before you make it, saying, okay, is this going to be a good thing or a bad thing? If it's a bad thing, what am I going to have to pay for it? And maybe I can make a better choice. Is there a better choice to make? And I'll show you what that looks like before you leave here. But understand, when you tell me, I was just too busy, so I had to miss my visit, I'm not pointing fingers, but is that good for your brain or bad for your brain? Is that going to set you up for more sickness and disease and early death? It is. Then again, you can give me really good excuses, but the reason I'm like, I don't make the rules. Your x-ray said you need an adjustment. You skipped it. You could be busy. You could have family in town. I understand that. But where are those people going to be when you start coming up with the dementia or the Alzheimer's or the brain issues? Because that affects your brain. Or, I'm taking medications. I'm eating sugar too much or grains. I'm skipping my workouts. I'm skipping my vitamins. I'm cutting short my sleep. I'm not doing my home exercises at home. I'm letting toxins be put in my body. I'm having the wrong thoughts about you and your life. Having the wrong thoughts about you and your life. So, you know, which brain scan do you want to have? A healthy one or a sick one? You decide by what you do or don't do every day. So if you come down with some type of disease process, you really only have you to blame. I only have me to blame. Because I did it to myself, not the night before I went to the doctor's office, but literally with every decision I make in my life. Sets me up to win or sets me up to fail. Does that make sense? It's not your health insurance. It's not your doctors. It's not because of lack of medication. It's your choices you make every day. Okay? So, how are we doing in America then? If this is the truth that every decision we make, then how are we doing in America? Well, despite in our country that we spend more on healthcare than any country in the world, we're in the worst health, we die earlier, and we suffer from more diseases than any wealthy country in the world. Go USA! 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 You know what I'm saying? This is what we get. And that's not even all. Again, because we don't take care of our brains, we have the worst infant mortality, the worst injuries and homicides, teenage pregnancies and sexually transmitted diseases. We have more AIDS, we have more disability, we have more drug-related deaths, more obesity and diabetes, we have more heart disease and chronic lung disease. And again, that's the National Academy's Press. And it's all because we don't take care of our brains. We don't protect our brains. We don't live conscious of our brains. We put everything first except our brains. So, how is your culture working? The culture that you're living is dictating your health right now. So in your bubble, in your home, in your circle as far as church or work, how healthy is everybody around you? Or are you the health nut? Some of you probably are the health nut in your circle of people. But is there depression? Is there disease? Is there anxiety? Is there obesity? Is there illness? If there is, guess what? It's time to get out. It's time to change. It's time to get new friends. It's time to get a new culture and bring those folks with you so that you can be healthy, you can be strong. Okay? If not, find one that is an adapt. So find something that's working. Find people that have what you want and start doing what they're doing, okay? So let's talk about this. People in Abkhazia, right? Here's what they eat. mostly vegetarian food, light on meat, vegetables almost always eaten raw. Overeating is considered actually inappropriate. Overeating is socially inappropriate, and nuts are a major source of fat. And again, what kind of life do these folks have? Well, they have a high fitness among elders, mental health, sharp eyesight, hearing extended into old age, retirement, they don't even have a word for it. Old age is esteemed and seen as beautiful, and they dislike being rushed, no concept of a deadline. That's that culture. And what do? They live healthy, they live long, they live the opposite of what we do in America, right? How about people of the Hunza Valley? Again, they eat whole grains like flax, fruit, vegetables. They raw diet, cooked vegetables, lightly steamed. Flax meal is prevalent. Little animal products, right? So what does that do to their body? I mean, no Oreo cookies, no Diet Coke, no Red Bull. I mean, wow. What kind of a deprived society are they, right? Well, how are they living? No more blood pressures, EEGs, no heart disease, no cancer. All the older folks, seniors, have 20/20 vision. No tooth decay, no bone disease. Energy, really suffer from fatigue. My whole point is that if we live like them, if you moved out of America and you started living in the Hunza Valley and started living like them, what would be your chances of living longer and living better?
Great.
So who wants to move? Who can move? You know what I'm saying? Nobody can, but can we learn from them and apply that into our own culture? Absolutely. And then I used to know these, the Vicabambas, right? Almost entirely vegetarian, fruits and vegetables, no packaged or processed goods, very little animal product. And again, do they have heart disease? Do they have cancer? Are they overweight? No. No overweight people, no crime, no suicide. Again, hurt people, unhealthy people, hurt people. Healthy people don't do that. There's cultures that live a healthy lifestyle and they don't have these things. Again, and I know you can't move and jump on a plane and start living there, right? Because if you did, you'd probably say, here, eat this Snickers, right? You probably bring all that junk stuff with you and you poison the whole community, okay? So we don't want that. So what do we do? What are we going to adopt? So someday they say those Northland people or those Denver people, right? Or those folks that maximize living Northland, what are they doing? They're weird because they're aging differently than everybody else. They're redefining the whole aging process. And what do they have to do to make that happen? Is there some magic pill or potion we're drinking? No. We just realize that if we can do things every day to maximize our thoughts, to reduce nerve stress, to put food in our body, to get an oxygen to our brain, and reduce the toxicity, then we're going to have the same results these folks have. Okay, that's the good news. And so again, successful cultures, they have a good mindset. They have peace. They decrease being rushed. They love life. They have great relationships. Okay? Happiness is a sort of a what? Action, right? So again, you have to get your mind under control. But if you're getting 6 hours or less a night of sleep, that will affect your personality. That will make you feel stressed, sad, distracted, anxious, angry, not effective at living and making poor choices. So one thing I want to encourage you all to do is get at least 7 hours a day of sleep, which means it may not be at night, then your naps can add up. So you need at least, some of you I'm looking at you right now, and I can tell who's not getting 6 hours a night of sleep, okay? So 6 hours at least, or 7 hours and more to get your brain going in the right direction. And then get involved. Listen, I have lots of ideas, and I need lots of help. The latest is I was in Georgia, went to a friend of mine who just opened up his Max T3 gym. Oh, do I want one? Let me tell you. But right now, I'm already living 25 hours a day. I know, I did get an extra hour. And I can't have any more time. Ask Mrs. Arve, St. Eileen, right? I need help. So if you love any of these 5 essentials and you can see yourself teaching this someday, hey, let me know. Let's start training. Let's start bringing you in. Let's start volunteering. Start helping you learn this stuff and become a black belt at it, because I could sure use the help saving our city, right? I could sure use the help. So get involved. And Facebook doesn't really count, okay? Because you don't have to. You can type to people, but it's better to be face to face. Volunteer at your church. Volunteer at your school. Volunteer here. I'll find something for you to do, right? Okay. So that's really important. But brain function is very important. So we have to talk about cutting out sugars and dairy, conventional dairy, and bad fats. get essential fatty acids into your body. And here's the thing, bipolar, depression, Alzheimer's, when you have good fats going into your brain, then these things don't happen or they go away. That's the good news. Okay, so look to your partner right and say, I need fat.
I need fat.
Look at the person to the left and say, I didn't call you fat, I need good fat. So, here's some cool things though. So DHA, that's omega-3, right? Don't ask me what it stands for, I can pronounce it if you try, but basically when you have optimal brain function, you have good levels of omega-3, and that means that your cells, you can rejuvenate your brain cells and prevent cognitive decline. Everybody know what cognitive decline is? Basically, you just like live. Now you got to go to Boca Raton, Florida, and start living that way, okay? Because that's where cognitive decline happens. But when you have good optimal brain function, check this out. You can maintain brain plasticity. You need a brain to be loose and to be flexible and to be like your nice soft skin, not stiff and inflexible, right? It's like call it plasticity, and you can prevent the decline that often leads to vascular dementia. Again, loss of blood flow to the brain causes dementia. And Alzheimer's disease. Again, these things shut down the brain's life, and that's what causes Alzheimer's. But if you have good essential fats like omega-3 in your diet on a daily basis, then that doesn't have to happen to you. You can reverse the brain process. One of the things that I do is I take the perfect ratio omega. Again, all fish oils are not the same. You need a ratio of 2 to 1, like 1,000 of omega-6 and 500 of omega-3. That's a 2 to 1 ratio, right? You basically are paying for what you get. And there's a rule called the New Jersey shelf rule. You can go to a warehouse in New Jersey and you see top shelf vitamins and then other shelf vitamins, So for like vitamin C, the top shelf costs you $60. The bottom shelf costs you 50 cents. So guess what kind of vitamin shelf Walmart and Costco is picking from? Not the, now they can buy the 50-cent vitamin and still charge you $60 for it. But what we do at Maximize Living is we're buying the top shelf because it's organic and it's whole food, but yet it all depends on what we want. They think we're crazy. Why don't you do like everybody else and buy the lower shelf and just charge everybody else charge? Because we have to take the stuff ourselves. And we're not going to be taking that kind of stuff because, again, we only practice what we preach. So this stuff is great for your brain, mental function, hair, reduce inflammation, reduce heart disease, diabetes, cardiovascular, improve. And so tonight we have this on sale for 15%. If you're not on it yet, I'm telling you, the research is there. You need to be on it. Also, successful cultures. So the successful cultures think right. They feed their brain. They're socially connected, right? Well, other successful cultures eat simple, non-complex foods. They eat live foods. They don't eat sugar, or they don't eat artificial sugar as well. Okay? They don't overeat, and none of their food comes in a box. Okay? Except their cocoa meal bars. That's it. All right? But here, artificial sweeteners are deadly. Everybody say deadly. Deadly to your brain. Deadly to your brain. It talks about sweeteners can impair your genetic structure, right? Increase cancer risks, and be toxic to your nervous system. It's in your gum. It's in your coffee drinks. It's in your sweetener. It's in everything. You have to watch out. Blue pack, pink pack, yellow pack, phenylalanine. I mean, this is a whole talk in itself. They don't belong. I'd rather you do real sugar or honey if you have to. But get off. Some of you right now sleep at least 7 hours a night. Get off the artificial sweeteners, and that right there will revolutionize your life. Your personality will come back because of that. Okay? Junk food brain. Again, I don't make this stuff up to get you to eat better. It's right there. But when you eat food that's not food, literally the way they process food now is to get you hooked on it so that you'll eat it all the time. If they can get you hooked on it, then you will love it and you'll buy more of it. Who cares whether it's food or not? Because now they put chemicals in it that literally make you addicted to it. Okay? And we're going to show a lot of that on our upcoming movie night on April 28th. You know, everybody loves Food Matters, right? Well, they did a part 2 called Hungry for Change, and we're going to show that on April 28th at a movie night here. And if we get or if we got to go bigger, we'll go bigger, right? But you're gonna love that. They talk about how literally they on purpose put chemicals in food so that you won't stop eating it. Okay? And again, this junk food talks about how typically shortly after eating it stimulates regions of the brain associated with reward and cravings. They know exactly what to feed you. They'll tell you exactly how high to jump and how far to bark. Okay? So eat real food. Again, Americans spend more on processed foods and sweets than any other food group. So how's our health? See a direct correlation because of that? Why? Because it poisons your brain. 70 to 80% of processed foods in the United States contain GMO, genetically modified food, which means it's not food. You may put water in your gas tank, but when you try to drive that car, what's going to happen? Your dial may even go to full.
Yeah.
So you put that box food or that food in your body, it's really not food, that's man-made more than it is God-made. It may fill up your tummy for a little bit, but the result's going to be disease process to your brain, which is going to affect everything. Real food like fruits and vegetables, nuts and seeds, eggs and meats, but not processed. Again, so what are 3 changes you can make to help get your brain healthy and get this thing kick-started? Well, get bad fats out of your diet and put in good fats. Change the meats that you're eating. Every month now, you can order healthy meat at a fair price. It's grass-fed beef and it's grass-finished. Okay, healthy chickens that eat worms and stuff like that. Okay, even healthy lamb that's grass-fed. And again, if you'll die if you don't have your pork chops or your pork, that's okay. They have healthy piggies too. Okay, and I'll let you order it, right? Once in a while. Okay. And again, remove all sugar from your diet. All sugar from your diet. So what are some good foods that you can feed your brain? Okay? Well, avocados are amazing for your brain. Blueberries, okay, are amazing for your brain.